So we know that obviously after the season the Montreal Canadiens have just had, there's going to be change. That much is certain. There's going to be change because they got the first overall pick, worst record in the entire league. They're going to move on from some players. There's new blood behind the bench, in the front office. I mean, they're kind of turning over the keys here slowly. I know Price is around, Gallagher's around. They're turning over the keys to guys like Suzuki, Caufield, probably Shane Wright when he comes through. So there's going to be a bit of a culture change coming in Montreal. And two guys that were suggested on the hockeywriters.com that are almost certain to be moved or gotten rid of this offseason is Jonathan Drouin and Jeff Petry. And this is a really interesting discussion because I want to know what Habs fans think about both of these guys because, hey, you might not get super high returns here, but are you willing to shed some salary to maybe go big game fishing, big game hunting in the offseason in free agency? Because that's what you might have to do. You might have to buy out a Drouin. Or Petry, I think you can still get some value, but not as much as you would have gotten even a year ago when he was in the Norris conversation. Not even close. But here's what was said on the Hockey Writers website. For Drouin, it said a couple of different reports suggest that the Canadiens are open to moving on from Jonathan Drouin. Sportsnet's Eric Engels reported just ahead of the NHL draft lottery that Drouin is expected to recover by early July from his injury and begin training for camp, but he along with Paul Byron could be moved. And just a few days ago, Mark D'Amico of Montreal Hockey Now also noted that so much uncertainty surrounding Drouin's LTIR status and how it affects the team's cap flexibility might make Kent Hughes want to move on from Drouin, despite him being a very talented player. They then mentioned that moving Drouin will be selling on the low, but that's something the Canadiens might have to live with to get his $5.5 million salary off the books. When he's on LTIR, it's not a huge deal unless there are multiple transactions that affect the number crunching. When he's not on LTIR, no one seems to know if he'll stay healthy. D'Amico suggests that he could be moved if a team submits an interesting offer. And this is the interesting part. Listen to this, Habs fans. A contract buyout is a possibility, although it would be a last resort, and the Canadiens would need to have a bit more information about his injury status before making such a decision. Hughes has indicated he has no intention of buying anyone out, but that could change based on what options present themselves. Very, very interesting there for Drouin. Of course, after getting him for Sergachev and Habs fans rejoicing, a francophone star coming to Montreal, this would be, especially after everything he's gone through personally in the past couple of years, this would be a big blow. It would be really sad to see Drouin get bought out, but it's a business at the end of the day. If that's what needs to be done for the betterment of the organization, it's what needs to happen, unfortunately. Now moving on to Jeff Petry, here's what was said about that. Jeff Petry seems to be a common name among many of the lists constructed by journalists taking a look at the Canadiens' off-season plans. Most of that is because he suggested he'd welcome a trade when Ducharme was running the bench and he figured it was time he moved on. Things changed when Martin Saint-Louis took over, but it might be too little too late from a Canadiens' perspective. Hughes confirmed in an interview on May 5th on TSN that he was still looking to move Petry. He came out and said it. Whether it's because he feels that Petry made his bed and his up-and-down season didn't help, or because the team simply wants to move the defenseman's $6.25 million cap hit, which is so much, he expects the Canadiens to turn over every rock in an attempt to find a trade that works. The Habs aren't going to give Petry away, but there are likely teams that will show some interest. If the deal is right, it'll probably get done. If the Habs are willing to retain any salary, it should be an easy deal to make. Now, that's very interesting, and look, Habs fans and the Habs alike would love if they could get good pieces for both of these guys. It may be draft picks, it may be prospects. I doubt you're going to get any significant good roster players out of these two deals just because you're selling low on both of these guys, but that doesn't mean you can flip them over for something that is good or not. You can still get good value from these two guys. It just is probably going to be in the form of prospects and picks, and I know a lot of teams are just dying for right-hand shot defensemen, and equally, a lot of teams are starving for guys who could wake up offensively and provide some offensive skill and talent. If there's one thing that Drouin has, it's offensive skill and talent when he wants to have it. He's just struggled with consistency for the past number of years, maybe even his whole career. So if he can find that, who knows? Look at Sam Bennett when he left Calgary to Florida. I know it's a different situation, but that's the type of thing that teams are going to be banking on. And I think that the deals will get done. I don't think a buyout is going to come, but we will see. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below, Habs fans. Let me know what you guys think would be fair value in a trade for both of these guys, and would you maybe be interested in keeping them? Let me know. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.